everybody, as promised, Gene out here at the range. Got the Walther PDP Pro SD Compact. I know that's a mouthful. Got to get it all in there because everybody will correct us. But as I mentioned in the tabletop, what we were here at the range today for was, for me anyway, I was trying to determine if, with some of the griefs I had with the gun being the plastic sights, not being suppressor height, because I do shoot suppress sometimes, that was a little bit of a drawback. Also the plastic guide rod that was in there, and it being a little bit heavily sprung, and whether or not after shooting it today I felt like it would be worth it to invest in the sights, in the optic plate, which of course I got for free, and then also mounting a $400 or $500 optic up here. Would it be worth investing that money in there after having already, you know, paid almost $900 for the gun after tax? So we're going to find out today. Haven't got to shoot this thing. I have noticed that, typically I haven't noticed this with Walther, maybe Rock Island, stuff like that, but this thing seems to have an awful lot of oil on it. It's not really a grease, it's like an oil. So, but I have not oiled it, I have not cleaned it. We just took it here out of the box. Got my mag pouch down here like a kangaroo. But I got my 18 rounder in here. I got one in the pipe. She's hot, ready to go. Got my wife on the camera. She don't think she's going to shoot today, but she is, because she's the one that told me I needed to get the little shorty, that it felt better. And I'm kind of glad I did. As mentioned in the tabletop, I had the PDP, the large, the original one is 5, might have been, it seemed like it was over 5 inch. It was a monster of a gun. So this is more concealable, more practical, I'm sure. Right off the bat, we're just going to shoot for accuracy. I'm going to try to shoot slow it down, and see how accurate it is with just these factory plastic sights that I don't like, and also just, you know, kind of feel the recoil, target acquisition, and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna shoot for the dead center of this target. We got a painted target down there. We're shooting about 12 yards, and I'm gonna shoot for the dead center of that target. And I got to get out of the sun a little bit because it's about to blind me. I'll take it. Not half bad. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I kind of like it. So it's difficult for these old eyes with some sunglasses and the sun beating right down in my face to really stay focused, but that is an orange dot down there, so it wasn't half bad. So I'm gonna get over here on this steel because it's more reactive. I can see it better. Try to speed it up a little bit and see how difficult it is to keep that front sight on target down there. So let's just do that. Well, I might have, I mean, you know, one thing about the factory sights are they are adjustable for windage and for elevation, so if I needed to make some adjustments I could. So let's try to slow it down. It's kind of hard for me, which I hate this type of sight setup. Anybody that's watched the channel before, you know that I prefer a blacked out rear sight. For some reason or another, me looking at a white dot in the front and then trying to contrast that with two white dots at the rear, it causes it to cross on me. And so it's kind of hard for me to know whether or not those follow-up shots, I'm still getting used to the trigger, because as you've seen on that first magazine, I had a, I guess we'll call it a negligent discharge, a double tap if you will, where because the reset on that trigger is really light, it's great. As I mentioned in the tabletop, it's not as good as the Canic reset, maybe not good as the Canic trigger altogether, and I don't get that easily stays on target, as in a lot of people were saying that you don't get a whole lot of muzzle rise, it handles the recoil well, and so you're able to stay on target. But that could be, again, because of how much I hate these doggone sights on this gun. I don't like them at all, and I'm gonna load up and let my wife shoot, see if she can do any better with it. Maybe she's got better eyes than I do. I feel confident that she does. But I will say that it is a very well managed recoil. I feel like that if I got an all stainless guide rod in there, lighten that spring up a little bit, after 54 rounds it doesn't feel like it's gotten any lighter. And again, I don't know this to be a fact, but I think it's 16-18 pounds. I think it could stand to be a little bit less, and maybe I could manage the recoil and stay on target while shooting faster. Certainly once I get an optic up here, if I choose to do that, I'll be able to do just that. So let's get loaded up and let her shoot at least one or two magazines. She usually gets bored pretty easy, so we'll see what happens. So we're gonna get her on this. I hope she doesn't embarrass me. We're gonna see what she thinks about it. How you think about how it holds?
It feels good.
Feels good in the hand?
Here we go.
See what you got. You want to switch to the steel? So anyway, she got on there. Usually when she comes out to the range and she shoots a gun, she's usually right there with me. Some cases like the 97B, the 45 cal from CZ, she'll embarrass me. Not so much. Looked like you were shooting low. How do you feel about the recoil? Like, I mean, does it, in comparison to other guns you've shot? I mean, you ain't got nothing to say? Okay,
I think it's hard. I mean,
huh?
I don't like the recoil on that one, but
You don't?
Mm-mm.
You think it was a lot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about it yet. I can say this, the recoil is very manageable. I don't mind the recoil. I've shot a lot of other compact guns that the recoil just hurt, was not fun to shoot. This is a very fun gun to shoot, and if you use that trigger reset without that grit and just a beautiful reset, a good wall, breaks crisp like you would expect it to, it is a very fun gun to shoot. But I absolutely cannot shoot with those sights. If you've watched our channel before, you know I'm not that bad of a shot. I mean, my guide would put a steel shot up of that first magazine that I put through it at 12, maybe even 13 yards right there, and I almost took the center out of a small diamond. So obviously I'm not a half bad shot, but that was with me sitting there shooting real slow and staying and trying to focus. I think maybe if I blacked out these rear sights, and left the white dot on the front, it would probably be a lot better. But I will say that I'm probably going to keep the gun. I'm probably going to invest in the sights and the optic. Let's face it, they're Glock sights. All else fails, I could put these back on here if I decided I didn't want it, sell it. Put those sights on one of my Glocks or something, and certainly I could always keep my optic if I wanted to, because the jury is still out for me. I want to shoot this thing with an optic on there, but people have called us out recently saying that we don't review guns as it comes off the shelf, because not everyone can afford to put all of those extras on there. And so we just wanted to shoot it with the factory sights, which are absolutely horrible. So anyone that gets upset about that, well, I guess you'll just have to get upset about it, because them factory sights are horrible. And I know I'm supposed to replace the recoil spring in here. Okay, she cut the camera before I got to say that I was going to put the spring in there, but I did take out the spring that was in there. God, what an awful spring. And just as putting the green spring in there, if you will, just how flimsy that thing was trying to set it in place. I hate a plastic guide rod. I don't know why they put those in there. I know Glock done that, but kind of got away from it in their Gen 4s and 5s. I can't believe people are still putting plastic guide rods in their guns, but I did get the green one in there, got the suppressor on there, gonna shoot it suppressed. Can't see anything because, again, the sights are horrible. I didn't get raised sights. So in as much as I hate that I'm gonna have to revisit this gun, because I typically don't like to do that. Typically, if I don't have a good experience with a gun at the range, I'll just get rid of it. I won't have a revisit. But as most of you know, typically on optic ready guns, by the time I review it, the sights I want are on there, the recoil springs I want are on there, and the optics are on there, which makes it a whole different beast. So I will give it a fair shake and revisit it. Let's see how it shoots suppressed. Again, I can't see anything, so I'm guessing. It's always fun to get a face full of shavings and GSR when you're shooting suppressed, but it's fun. It's a fun gun. It's a fast gun. The trigger is awesome. I do like the PDP. I do like Walther in general. And because I'm such a Walther fan, I'm going to revisit this gun. But in order to give a fair assessment of what I personally think, don't know if you care or not what I think, but my wife said that she couldn't hit anything with it, and she's not a bad shot. Sometimes I pick on her about her form and stuff, but she said she couldn't hit anything, and she generally likes most of the guns that I bring out to the range to shoot. She has a good time with them, so I was surprised by her saying that. But I'm gonna get these sights off of here. I'm gonna get the optic mounted on here. Maybe change the recoil spring. I don't know. I might leave it. Who the heck knows? And I'm gonna revisit this gun, because right now I don't know if I could have a good conscience tell somebody to go out and spend, you know, $850 for this gun plus tax, or $799, or close to $900. That's just me personally. Everyone else on YouTube that has said such awesome, wonderful, great things about this gun, sue me. Everybody's different. I'm just not a fan, but I will say that most of those people that I watched already had the optics on, already had their sights changed, and or they were just using the optic, and in a couple of cases they had already changed the recoil spring. So maybe that's why they enjoyed it so much. But the thing they really kept harping on was the trigger. The trigger is great, I'll give them that, but I'm gonna have to revisit this. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. It's the only way we can keep doing this. And you have a blessed day.